And the Constitutional Court has announced it will deem its legal documents delivered to President Yoon Suk Yeol despite Yoon's refusal to receive court papers, meaning the first hearings for Friday will proceed as planned. Let's discuss more with Professor Paik Eun-seok this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Yoon will now be considered to have been served necessary documents related to his trial, regardless of whether he received them. Now, why do you think the court made such a call yesterday?
I think the court has decided to move the case forward without undue delay in the face of President Yoon's repeated refusal to receive any notices and documents from the court. I think the Chief Justice of the Constitutional Court made it very clear from the very outset of this case that the court will move, quote, swiftly and fairly. And I think this decision on service reflects the court's intent.
The court also said it will hold the first preparatory hearing in Yoon's impeachment trial this Friday. That is planned. That also has to do with the urgency of the case, right?
Certainly. Given what is at stake in this case, once again, the court wants to move swiftly and fairly in this case. Apparently, the decision to apply the service by mail in this case was decided on the same date, which was last Thursday on the 19th, when the court fixed the date for the first pretrial hearing, which is to take place on Friday, the 27th.
Right.
So basically, the court decides to stick with the initial scheduling.
Well, the big next big day is December 27th, this Friday, like you mentioned. Then what is this preliminary hearing? Walk us through what the hearing is and why is it an important one for Yoon even?
As a general matter, a pre-trial hearing or preliminary hearing is the occasion where the lawyers from both parties meet with the judge to basically streamline what's to come in the main trial. Things that are done during that time usually involve identifying the key issues of dispute and determining the scope of evidence and also the selection of witnesses, together with fixing the schedule for the main trial. And so it is important as a general matter. And I think it's important for President Yoon in particular, because this would be an occasion for him to get a better sense from the other party, that is the prosecuting party, what their arguments will be against him. So it would be in his best interest to be part of the process.
Indeed. I mean, but the thing is, Yoon's legal team, they say the team is not done forming its members. The question is, what happens if they don't show up this Friday at the hearing? I mean, will they be held responsible for their absence?
Well, President Yoon's side would not be penalized, technically speaking, but in other senses, again, I think it would be in his best interest to be part of it. He has apparently formed the legal team for his criminal prosecution, but not so much for the impeachment part. So his, representative, unofficial, I suppose, spokesperson has indicated yesterday that the President Yoon takes the impeachment trial more important than the criminal prosecution part. But the legal team for the impeachment case has not been formed yet. And as things stand now, very high likelihood that his team will not be present at the pretrial hearing this Friday. The court may proceed without holding pretrial hearing at all, which was the case in the very first impeachment case against President Roh Moo-hyun. And in the second impeachment case against President Park Geun-hye, there were 3 rounds of pretrial hearing. And so it's up to the court whether to hold it, how many pretrial hearings the court will hold. And I think given what is at stake in this case, the court is very likely to want to have a pretrial hearing. And so if President Yoon's team doesn't show up this Friday, which is very likely, then the court will likely to fix another date for a pretrial hearing. If this continues, again, it's up to the court how the court will proceed. But I think, as Chief Justice indicated at the very outset of this case, the court intends on moving forward quote, swiftly and fairly. I think that's the policy of the court.
So it wouldn't be a surprise if his legal team doesn't appear this Friday. Now, can Yoon's legal team take as much time as they want to complete the team members then?
I think the team may, or maybe the President Yoon's side may ask for an extension of time. And I think the court may be willing to work with the President's side on this matter. But again, a further delay would not be a very good idea. It would not be in the interest of the President Yoon's side at all. And it would be, once again, a great disservice to the whole process and great disservice to the whole country. Technically speaking, if President Yoon fails to put together his legal team, then the court may even appoint a public defender in order to move forward with the proceeding. And some constitutional scholars in Korea have actually suggested that. But again, it's up to the court to decide. And I think in the best interest of President Yoon, in terms of doing his service to the country, to have his legal team ready and to cooperate with the process.
Right. Well, we'll have to wait and see what actually does happen on Friday. Professor Paik, thank you so much for your time and your insight this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and have a good Christmas.